Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, EXP family and friends. Welcome to Level Up Wealth Wednesday. My name is Candice Garcia. I am the director of EXP University. I am joined today by our new agent training coordinator, Alyssa Specht. Hello, Alyssa, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us here on Wealth Wednesday as part of our new Level Up initiative. Alyssa and I are here today to kick off Wealth Wednesday and to hang out with you for the next 30 minutes while we talk all about growing in wisdom and wealth through accountability. But before we get started, good morning, Alyssa. So glad to be here with you. Would you mind telling everyone watching us here on YouTube or live in EXP World a little bit more about what we're doing here on this Wealth Wednesday and what they can expect every week when they join us for Level Up on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays?
Awesome. Well, hey, everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you, Candice. It is always one of my greatest pleasures to be on this same screen with you, just having these conversations. You are always there to, I think, fill me up. So I appreciate that. And I hope that we can do that right now for everybody who's watching right now on YouTube in the EXP World Metaverse. So you guys are joining us here on what Candice said to be Wealth Wednesday. So when we think about Wealth Wednesday, I think instinctively you might think, all right, so Wealth Wednesday, we're talking financials, right? But it's not just that, right? So when we're thinking about wealth, we think about, the wealth that comes from maybe leverage, or we're going to talk about, the different kinds of wealth, right? So think about the different facets of wealth. There could be financial wealth, but it could be health wealth. It could be, right, health wealth, right?
Yeah.
Someone tagline that one, health wealth. I invented it right here.
Hashtag EXP Health Wealth.
Yes, I mean, health, your physical wealth, yes. All of that, the wealth of your business, all of that. But when we look at that, all of those facets of wealth, they all come down to one thing, and that is accountability, right?
Absolutely.
Right? So yeah, I mean, it's accountability to yourself, to your family, to your business, to all of these things. And so I'm interested to ask you, Candice, because I think that it may be different. What does accountability mean to you? What does accountability mean to you?
Oh, I love that question. Well, I'm excited to be here with you, Alyssa, because, Level Up is a new initiative that we've added to the EXP training and education training calendar. It is something that it is a new push for EXP. We really want to meet agents where they are in this new market shift. And so we are here, folks, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Fridays at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Times, to bring you the training and education that you need to level up your business through this market shift. And one of the things that we are so excited about doing is providing this training weekly on those same days, right? Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can come in and you can actually find training and accountability here through Level Up. Another way that I've seen accountability here in EXP University is in your Tuesday stand-ups. So for those who don't know, every Tuesday live in EXP World at 8:30 Pacific time, correct, Alyssa?
8:45.
My apologies, 8:45 a.m. PST. You can come into our new agent stand-up, which was actually built and designed for accountability for our new agents. So as a new agent, if you're looking for, kind of the bullpen experience that you might find at a brick and mortar, where you can lean on other agents, where you can simply find an accountability partner to make sure you're making your calls, that you're getting those dials in, that you're making those contacts, you can actually find that here. And so, as we were talking about that on Monday, talking about the full list of, really robust training that EXP University offers, you and I started to talk about accountability. And that's really where this conversation started. We got so excited about it that we wanted to come back here on Wednesday and continue the convo. So to get back to your question, what is accountability? For me, Alyssa, accountability is just taking responsibility for the decisions and the actions that I've made. So when I'm looking to incorporate accountability into my business, it's all about making sure that I'm being responsible for the choices that I'm making in order to grow and sustain my business. Talk to me a little bit more about what accountability means to you and how you're providing it to our agents every week. Because the thing that I love about accountability, to your point that you just made, is it's not just for new agents, right? We're providing it here for our new agents. We're giving them a space to get that here. But accountability is something that every agent needs, no matter where they are in their business. And as you're approaching this new year, Alyssa, right? You and I are both licensed agents. We're both building out our business plans for what we want our real estate business to look like in 2023. How are you incorporating accountability, and how can all of our agents start to work towards having a more accountable future?
So that is interesting. And so the number one thing in my opinion, is that you want to get an accountability partner. But I kind of want to reframe that word, or that term, accountability partner, because and I don't know if it could just be me, but when you say like accountability partner, I'm like, that's a drag, like, so and I think there could be a lot of people out there who think that same thing. So I want to talk about, and certainly accountability partners are good. They're going to, you can come in and say, like, hey, I'm speaking my commitment that I'm going to make this amount of calls. I'm going to do this. So when we're thinking about accountability partners, I really think we think task focused, right? And that is absolutely valuable, and it's absolutely something that a lot of us need, myself included, even though it's something I don't necessarily want, right? So we've got accountability partners who are task focused. But I want to introduce maybe a new term, and it's a success partner, right? So, right, I know it's very interesting to think about. So a partner in success. So we're thinking about progress focused, right? So not just that, did you complete that one task, but do you have momentum? Are you making progress in those big goals in your life? So that's kind of the biggest thing that, resonated from some of our talks before, was the idea of, and Candice, I'll say that, I would consider you to be one of my success partners, so I know that you have my success, what I'm going for, and hopefully I can do always those same things to you. Absolutely. So it's someone who not only says, hey, did you check off that task, but they're leaving you with momentum. They're leaving you with excitement, and they've got that same motivation, that same drive. And so you guys are pushing each other together. So that's kind of that's where my mind is at when we talk about accountability, is the difference between accountability partners and success partners. Both have value. Maybe those are the same people, but that's kind of where my mind is at on that.
So I love that.
Yeah. And I mean, what are do you have any success partners of your own? What do you think that you can get from that? Do you have any accountability partners of your own?
I absolutely have accountability partners. And, I've got a couple of businesses. I've got the real estate, right? And then I've got my career here at EXP. And so when I am here at EXP and I'm doing my staff job, my accountability partner absolutely is going to be Tanya Gonzalez. She is my co-director here at EXP University, director of ops. And so Tanya is who I go to for accountability. That's going to be the person that I'm going to say, here's what I want to do. Here are my goals. Here's where I want to get to. And I'm going to come to you as my partner to really help keep me accountable to those goals. Now, I also have, my supervisor, my superior, my boss, SVP of Agent Development, Curtis Dixon. And so I will go to Curtis as well for guidance, but I'm going to go to Tanya to keep me accountable, right? It's not Curtis's job to make sure that I get my job done. I'm just going to go to him with the results. I'm going to go to Tanya as my partner to ensure that she's keeping me accountable to getting the work done to meet those goals, to get those results. She's not doing the work for me or with me. She's just my partner to make sure I'm getting it done and to give me encouragement or motivation when I'm struggling to get it done, right? And so that is how I use those accountability partners in my life. And, I think for me, the other part of accountability and why it's so important is because I think that with an accountability partner, it's going to help to build trust. It's going to help us to build trust in our team, to build trust in the business that we're building. It's going to help us to improve performance because now I'm not going to show up unprepared because my accountability partner is going to be sitting in the meeting with me saying, hey, you told me last week that this was a goal of yours to get this done. Why is this still not done? Why are we still struggling here? And I think the other thing about having an accountability partner is it's going to promote ownership. So I can't say, well, was that mine to do? Did I really have to do that? Was that really on me? Because I've already said out loud to someone else who isn't just me, hey, hold me accountable to this. I'm going to get this done. I need you to make sure that you're helping me, that you're staying on top of me, that you're reminding me that this is a goal that I have for my life and for my future. So that is what's really important to me when it comes to accountability partners and how I'm using them in my life and business.
So my question to you now is, so you've got these accountability partners set up. How might someone out here watching right now, how might they find someone? Do you have any kind of thoughts on that? How do you find these people? I mean, what do you think?
How do you find that person? It's so funny because as accountability is something that you're going to hear of a lot in real estate. So if you're new to this business, if you're new to this industry, you're going to find a lot of training about accountability in real estate and why it's so important to your business. We talked about a couple of those reasons, to make sure you're building trust, to make sure you're taking ownership, increasing performance and confidence. But one of the things that is a little harder to find is how do you start to get involved? We know all of the benefits of accountability. How do I jump in? So what I did was I actually just went in and Googled, how am I going to find accountability? If I'm a new agent and I'm looking to do this, and I found Brian Buffini's top 5 tips for accountability. So if you're new to the business, Buffini is a very famous training coach. A lot of us who've been in the business for a while have Buffini information and we study at the feet of Brian Buffini. And so Brian Buffini's tips. Tip number 1 was make sure you're getting that coach and partner. If you want to be accountable, go find that coach and get connected. Tip number 2 to being more accountable, attend real estate events. Number 3, take real estate training. Number 4, consume motivational content.
That's
and
a big
number
one.
5, track your efforts. So if I'm looking at this list from Brian Buffini, one of the best in the business, these top 5 ways for you to start building accountability, and I see that number 2, number 3, and number 4 are attend real estate events, take real estate training, and consume motivational content. Alyssa, where can I do those 3 things with pretty much ease of on-demand training?
I mean, so it is within EXP University, my friends. It's right here. It's right here. I mean, it's what's interesting about that. So Candice was talking about that the new agent stand up that we have, and that's a great session for you to go and, so we have this session where we're all holding each other accountable, but that's a session where you could find someone right there who, they everybody's speaking their commitments out loud. And if you look at someone and they put something in the chat, and you're like, wow, that person has a similar goal to me, right? Or I could help that person. How could they help you? So there's all of that. But then in the same time too, there are all of these different on-demand classes, live classes that you can go and take. And in a way, Candice, I think it's kind of a way that I hold myself accountable. So what's interesting is, so I was thinking about, I was talking actually to my husband last night. We're talking about accountability. And I asked him that same question. I was like, well, what does accountability mean to you? And he gave me like a strange answer. He's a strange guy, but he gave me a strange answer. And he was like, well, ultimately, isn't it just like integrity? And I was like, that's weird. But I was like, okay, so the integrity seems to me like it is the end goal, right? And accountability is how you get there. Right? I mean,
love that.
Yeah. So so when I'm thinking about living in kind of my integrity is, to me, and it's going to be different for you. It's going to be different for anybody watching right now, but living with integrity is building a business that I can be my authentic self in, that's me. And it's doing things so it's building something, the dream that I want, and doing it while being myself. So that's that end goal that I want. So my accountability for me is like, all right, so I know I need to work on, like, I tough on social media. I've got to work on some of that, right? It's rough.
Yep. It's hard.
But yeah, it's hard. But all of these different things, we've got classes. I mean, you could go and look at the calendar right now. It's amazing. If you find a gap of knowledge, go and fill it. Go and look at that calendar. And that, to me, attending that live class, going and taking in that live training, that's your accountability right there. Add that to your calendar. Exactly. That's accountability to me.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. And I think that it goes back to the 5 tips, right? We're wanting to make sure we're attending events. So if you are an agent here, you can attend any of our live trainings in eXp World, trainings that are going to speak towards accountability, right? Every Tuesday and Thursday, you're there talking accountability, and you're giving people a chance to actually find and meet those accountability partners if you are in a live training session. Folks, when you come into any of our live training, even right now, right here in this YouTube channel chat box, you can actually reach out and find like-minded agents, people who are also tuning in on a Wednesday morning, who also came into the world and are sitting here in this eXp World Auditorium, taking part in this training just like you. These are really great opportunities to find someone who might be that accountability or success partner for you, right, Alyssa?
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to double down. And say, and Candice said you could find them. I'm going to encourage you, do it right now. If you are watching this right now, you are in eXp World, you're on the chat right now, and you have found the value, you understand, I need someone to help push me and give that momentum. And I could do the ssame thing for them. If you are looking for that right now, shout out in the chat. We have this kind of amazing opportunity. This is an amazing opportunity. Look at this community all around you. So shout out in the chat, link up. You can link up on Workplace after. And I wrote this down, guys, because I think this is valuable to know. So when you're just speaking your commitments out loud, you're saying, hey, I'm going to do this. Statistics show you've got like 65% likelihood of being successful with that, which is pretty good. I mean, that's good.
More than half, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. But when you speak your commitments out loud and report them to someone specific, your success rate moves to 95%. I mean, I didn't write the statistics. I mean, why? How could you not? Right. How could you not? If you identify right now what your integrity is, what your big dream is. In our Fast Start classes, we do, real estate business planning, right? And we run them through what's called the 3190. So we have them go through and figure out what their big 3-year dream is. And once you figure out what that big 3-year dream is, that's what I'd like to call your integrity. And if you've got that integrity, you've got that vision, you've got that goal, that big dream, you need someone who's going to help give you some momentum to get there. So I'm going to encourage you guys, shout out right now. This is your chance.
Wow, super exciting. Okay, so 5 ways to get accountable. Number 1, get a coach or an accountability partner. Alyssa just told you how to do that. So take part in the live trainings, get active in that YouTube box, get active in that EXP World chat box, and find your accountability today right here in these sessions. And if not, folks, go to your workplace group. Go to your state groups, get involved, get in the world, start attending more of our classes, and start finding the people who think like you, who work like you, or who maybe don't think or work like you at all. That might even be the better choice, right, Alyssa? You know that you and I think differently in some ways and alike in some ways, and that's how we push each other. That's how we have this amazing partnership and how we're so successful together. So find that person. You have opportunities to do so in workplace, in world. Number 2, attend those live real estate events, whether in world, whether you're going to Sprint, whether you're going to EXPCon. Everyone make sure and go purchase the tickets for the summit. Alyssa and I will see you there in just a few short months. Number 3 was to take real estate training. Alyssa, tell them how they can do that. How can our agents or agents who are looking to join EXP get involved in some of our training?
Well, there are a number of ways. I'm hoping, I don't know if we've got our QR code ready, but the number 1, I'm going to tell you, if we don't, I want you to go to expuniversity.com/start.
Yes.
So that's and here we go. Here we go. I love doing this.
Thank you.
Pull out your phone right now and scan this QR code. And this is going to be your easy way to get and access all of our training, because what Candice was telling you before was that we've got training all of these different ways geared towards, your method of learning, all of that. So scan that QR code or go to expuniversity.com, and I will pull up my app right now. And it's amazing. So this is going to be your quick, easy way to figure out, what content, where to go. So you're going to get to our YouTube stream right now. Here we are. Or you can get into our live classes. What is your favorite thing about live classes, Candice? What is your favorite thing about live?
My favorite thing about live classes is Q&A. So if you can't tell already, I like to talk and I love to ask questions, Alyssa. I'm very curious. And so what I love about our live sessions is I can come into EXP World almost any day of the week. I can find a live session and I can go get information. I can go get my questions asked by subject matter experts, by top producers in this brokerage. It's an opportunity that can't be missed.
Absolutely. That's my favorite thing too. It feels like I have access to, it feels like access. I guess that's what it is. I mean, it's someone who, and all of the people who are teaching are people who, I mean, they've built an incredible business for themselves, and they're sitting there telling you, here's how I did it. And you can kind of just pick their brain a little bit. And it's to me, incredibly valuable. And I've made a lot of different relationships actually during these Q&As. So that is another way that you can do it. Hopefully you've got that app open or to expuniversity.com/start, because we've got other classes here. You can get to our recorded classes. There is a robust amount of recorded classes, which the way that I love to use the recorded classes is always like, I think about that. For me, the way I'm like, I think about my gaps of knowledge. Like I said before, I'm like, I need to work on my social media. So I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to start perusing. And then, I'm like, oh, this is a good one. This is a good one, until I have an entire list of recorded classes that, I mean, I'm taking with me everywhere and just kind of filling my mind. I'm working on myself personally and professionally. And those recorded classes are a big part of it. I love that. And we also have those on-demand classes. So you can get those 24/7. So all of those links are right there on that. If you scan that QR code or at expuniversity.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So that took care of number 4, right? Or number 3, which was take real estate training. Number 4, consume motivational content. Now, I've got to say, if you scanned the QR code, if you clicked on any of those links, not only do we have amazing productivity and attraction training, we've got a ton of mindset training there. So if you are looking for motivational content to consume, eXp Realty also has you. But I have to call out probably my very favorite thing that we do here in the university, one of my very favorite sessions that we put on every Friday morning, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is our Light Work podcast. It is hosted by our SVP of Agent Development, Curtis Dixon. And every week he features one of our eXp agents, staff, or one of our industry leaders to tell a little bit about their story and to really just set us up with some light energy for the week, right? We call it our weekly energy practice. It really is one of my favorite motivational things that we do here at eXp Realty. So I want everyone to add that to your calendar. If you're looking for that motivational content, we've got you covered. And then step 5 for the Brian Buffini's tips to getting into accountability is track your efforts. So I know we've only got a few minutes left, Alyssa, but I don't want to miss tracking your efforts, because if you are looking to get into accountability, if you're looking to be more accountable with your business in 2023, you will need to know your numbers. So track your efforts. That means know your numbers. What are you trying to sell next year? How are you going to get there? How are you going to break it down to ensure that you get there? How are you going to start making those SMART goals? Those are things that an accountability partner can help you with, but you've got to get started by doing the work, by knowing your numbers, and by solidifying that business plan. Now, as Alyssa said in her business planning session, she goes over the 3190 plan that you should make for your business. And that's also going to help set you up with some ways to be accountable once you get those goals written down and once you say it out loud to someone else. So make sure you catch Alyssa's Fast Start Series training live in eXp World every week. Don't miss that business planning session. And remember, know your numbers. So to recap, Alyssa, top 5 tips for accountability. Do you remember? Number 1, get a coach or accountability partner. Number 2, attend real estate events. Number 3, take real estate training. Can't miss that training. Number 4, consume motivational content. And number 5, track your efforts. Know your numbers, folks. So those are the top 5 tips for accountability. Alyssa, thank you so much for joining me on this Wealth Wednesday. Folks, remember that accountability leads to productivity, and productivity leads to profitability. So thank you for joining us. We've got some more amazing segments coming up on this Wealth Wednesday. Alyssa, tell everyone else what else they've got in store today.
Yeah, so we're just getting started, guys. So Candice, thank you so much. This has been fun getting to talk with you. Make sure, guys, that you are reaching out to each other in the chat, build that community, find that accountability. And so we're just getting started. Let's keep on rolling, guys. So up next, we've got Todd Schroth, and Todd's going to come in and talk all things EXP, how to leverage your upline, how to leverage all of these tools that we have here at EXP to grow your business. So take it away, Todd.
Hey guys, Todd Schroth here with the Todd Schroth Real Estate Team, or Todd Schroth Home Selling Team, brokered by eXp Realty. Sorry, I don't know my team name sometimes. So wanted to talk to you about all things EXP. This is a class I wrote for my downline to kind of understand why I joined the company, who I joined with, and what's involved with the company and the people you partner with. This is truly partnerships. No matter what brokerage you're at, you're a partner with your broker, you're a partner with your people. And you want to use the tools that are and resources that they have available, that they're providing, to help make you successful, because you're joining them for a reason they were successful. So let's dive in. So my motto for my team is committed to making your home story happy ever after, and committing to making our partnership a happy ever after as well. So the tools and resources we have here are things that we provide to our people that are partnered with us at EXP. And a lot of this is a lot of EXP tools as well that we dive into. It's like drinking from a fire hose when you join the company. So let's get started. So when you join the company, obviously you're going to go to your careers page, have them sign up there. And then it kind of gives you the walkthrough of what happens with the joining process. Now, I want to start, these slides are about 1.5 years old, so some things may have changed, but not a lot. So if you are signing up and you're joining the company, or you're in the company and you're talking to other people, some things may be changed a little bit, because I know this company is growing by astronomical numbers, and our systems and processes are being improved every day. So I give kudos to Glenn Saffron and the team for that. So typical desk fees you've got here, 80-20 commission split, $16,000 cap. If you're on a team or mega team, it does change from there. $149 startup fee, $85 brokerage fee monthly, which pays for the KV Core, the World, University, and other things like that. Then each file after that has a $40 risk management fee. I know in my previous brokerage, we had a $40 fee for every transaction. So I was spending between $4,000 and $5,000 a year. So that right there was a huge savings to me. $25 broker review fee, minimal. It's like a lunch out. And then revenue share fee if you are not in the production side. I don't think that is out there anymore. We'd like to do a welcome to our team. So as you can see, we've got our fancy Yetis that say, oops, once you see it, you can't unsee it, eXp Realty. Because once I saw the model, I had to dive in deep, and I couldn't unsee it, so we jumped in right away. Next steps, once you get in, you're going to download your world, learn everything about what's going on. They have a fast start series. I mean, literally everything they do has a class around it to help you understand and engage deeply. So if you're a brand new agent, dive into the university, get into the fast start. It's going to, the 19 things or 14 things to get started in real estate is, all based here. Getting to know your team. Your upline or your partners are your team that are here. So I'm partnering with Veronica Figueroa, Carlos German, Gil Ramos, Jay Kinner and Michael Reese, Cliff Freeman and Brent Gove, and Albie Stasic. And I chose them because of the things that they did. Gil's got awesome coaching platform that he uses here and teaching in our Orlando area. Veronica, I've known her Remax days. We clicked and we were partnered together. She's helping me build my business today still. Carlos, independent broker, came into the company using his resources and tools and coaching to help us grow further where we need to. Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, leverage the heck out of their stuff that they pitch with their coaching systems with NAEA, or National Association of Expert Advisors. Cliff and Brent just happen to be in there, and those guys are awesome. Cliff, haven't met him yet, but he's called me on several occasions asking how things are going, what tools we could use. Brent, been to several of his classes that he's done in town when he's in Orlando. Have had dinner with them. Amazing people we've got partnered with, and it's nice. 6 out of the 7 people in my upline I've actually met personally, had conversations with, have numbers to get a hold of them, and if we need something, they're there for us. So they always say people are untouchable. I can get every one of those guys on a cell phone right now if we wanted to, and they're not going to send me to voicemail or not respond back to me. All of them are always accessible to us as we need something. So getting connected, your upline, they create groups and businesses around what we're doing here. So we created our own downline group called Agents Who Win and Next Wave Alliance. Agents Who Win is a Facebook group that I use to teach people through, and whether they're in EXP or outside of the company, more for outside, because it's an attraction model for me to teach and coach other agents and have a platform out there that I can speak from. Next Wave Alliance, that's my downline. So anybody who's partnered with me is inside of that group, so I can put stuff out there that I want to relate to them. Honey Badgers, when I started, there was 1,600 of us in there. That was 3.5 years ago. There's over 10,000 in there now. And that's the Jay Kinder, Michael Reese brand that's right there. So that is where you see everything. Now, what gets posted in there? Coaching tools, classes, collaboration, referrals. Hey, got anybody moving to Orlando? They're on it. It's there. So you got to be engaged in these groups. And then we've got Global Alliance, which is the Gil Ramos and Veronica group. You can't see where it says slide 12. And then Daniel Betancourt, one of my downline, created Real Estate Moves with Daniel. So he uses that as his platform to coach and teach and create a social profile out there to get a hold of people. And then Be Different Mastermind, it's another one that Kel Whistle and Dan Beer created. They're not in our organization. They're kind of like that cousin that's over there. And they're amazing at what they're using that platform for, to leverage to attract people to EXP. Once you're in, get involved in the workplace. So I followed all my uplines, so I know when they're doing something, what's happening with them. And then KV Core is our database system that the company provides to us. So we want to make sure we follow and can use that. And if you're not diving into KV Core fully, you should, because that's what we use. That's what the company provides. And there's people who are really crazy successful at it. So Sylvia Dana and Kelly Wheeler are both people that coach on YouTube about how to use KV Core. That's why I say follow them as well, so you see any videos they have. Now, there are KV Core groups that I will tell you to join as well, but those I just follow those guys on Facebook, and not on Facebook, but on YouTube and Workplace, so I can see what they're doing out there with the systems. So EXP Workplace, I'm in Florida, so it makes sense for me to join the Florida State groups, join the Florida Referral Group, and then we also joined EXP University, so we can see the new classes that are happening, and then KV Core Discussion and CRMs for Dum-Dums. KV Core is run by Ideal Estate or Ideal Real Estate, and that is KV Core's brand. And then Sylvia Dana runs CRMs for Dum-Dums. So she's in there dropping YouTube videos all the time. The minute you get in, we're going to show you, hey, go check out Sylvia. She's going to really give you an A to Z in regards to KV Core. So you want to discover the perks of the company and your upline. So what we've got here, I'm a brick and mortar kind of guy, so I have a brick and mortar space in the Orlando market. So people who are joining me and working in my downline have opportunities to use my office space here. We have 4,000 square feet. We have a training facility that we use. I like to be in an office every day, so that's for me. So you don't have to have an office. You can have an office that's huge, small, or desk at home. It doesn't matter. But these are things that we do. So as an affiliate of People for Me. So our upline also has offices, so they can use those offices as well. We've got downtown Orlando, Lake Nona, Kissimmee, Celebration, and Avalon Park are offices that we can go to if we're in the area. And the thing I love about this is if I wanted to have a small office, it's 150 square feet, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not about the size, location, or anything. It's about you using the space. And that's one thing I love. It's not like you've got to fit a certain mold. So but those are things that are perk for us for knowing our upline. So if you're trying to find an upline that has offices, that's what we've got. It all depends on what you're being provided as a value to the person you're partnering with. Now, we also offer live coaching. So our affiliate business partners like Title, we try to push Celebration Title as our title company, and they have a ton of classes. So if you don't know about them, it's because you're not engaging. Daniel Betancourt and I do Monday coaching tips. Again, using it as a tool to attract, but also to coach and give back. And then look at your vendors, your mortgage, your title, your termite, your inspections. What are they doing to help you out and build your business? Are they coming in and teaching? Are they willing to go in and meet with your teams or meet with you to go over what the process of those things are like? And then every week, you get an email from EXP, and it's not spam. It's about the top classes in the world. To also remind you that there's classes out there. I think there's over 60 or 80 hours each week in classes. So you tell me you want to learn something, we'll find it in the calendar that week. It's not going to be a month away. Literally every week there's something going on with the market that they're trying to teach us. And then some other things we've got. Obviously, we're in like 19 countries now, or 23 countries. And then you got EXP Connect, which is a personal concierge to help you with your first 365 days of joining the company. Clearwater benefits, health insurance. Everybody has trouble getting insurance. EXP partnered with Clearwater to help provide an insurance program to the agents. And that's great as an independent contractor. We always get rates jacked way up here. Clearwater is affordable, and it's actually quality insurance. So coaching and training. Like I said, our upline has a coaching program that's available to us, which is NAEA by Jay Kinner and Michael Reese. And they have designations that we can get through there. So it's exclusive access to the masterminds. Now that we're back in person doing stuff, they've got events throughout the year that we can go travel to, learn that they're coaching at. And then 2 designations that are the Certified Home Selling Advisor and Certified Home Buying Advisor. And these are things that are going to help you find ways to generate new business. So if you're a listing agent, dive into the home selling. If you just want to do buyers, dive into the home buyer. But if you're just one or other, get both, because you can understand what sellers are looking for or what buyers are looking for. And that's going to teach you how to get more business. And I've got a lot of people who have taken the classes, come out, and all of a sudden using those in their new appointments and securing more business. So they used to charge a couple thousand a month for their coaching. It's available to us now free. That's why it's nice to know who's your upline and what value they bring to you. And people, if you're into attraction, what you're going to provide to your downline. If you're not into attraction, cool. Just use this as a business tool to help build your business bigger. Every week we have, on top of EXP's classes through the Honey Badgers. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there's stuff going on where they're teaching things. Wednesdays, John Kitchen is always interviewing another agent who's successful. I crush farming, so he had me teach a class on farming or interviewed me on the farming methods that we use to be successful with it. Next week is on Facebook. The week after is on YouTube. You name the topic, there's somebody who's crushing it that they're interviewing so we can learn from other people. Because you want to learn from people who are doing what you want to do. If you're going to John down the street to learn about YouTube and he's got one video on there, you're not going to learn anything. You got to find the people who are above you, crushing 100 deals a year off YouTube. That's who you want to watch those interviews. And then obviously we've got our other stuff here, like Partner with the Pros is our website to use for attraction. And it talks about all the other links that we've got here to log in and to get into the classes that we've got with the Honey Badgers and things. And Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, John Kitchens. Those are the guys that we want to follow. Now, if you want to get into learning why EXP, Jay Kinder does classes on Thursdays about that, onebigfire.com. And then they talk about EXP for independents and teams. There's classes or a conversation around why it's good for a team or an independent brokerage to move their model over to EXP. So they've got classes on that. So we got the links here in our slides. You can definitely dive in and check out. If you're into attraction, what are we here for? The wealth chart. And the wealth chart is going to talk to you about how to have conversations with agents about why it's good to partner with you and how to use this, how to unlock different levels, and how to get those commitments from those agents. So the wealth chart here is, I'm not sure who created the original one, but it's been improved upon year over year. And this is the one that we use in our office. We write on it every day. It's got our 25 people in the front line. It's got our people that are 5 levels deep, our numbers. We want to set our freedom number. What is yours? And what does it look like for you to be comfortable so you don't have to worry about like the market shift that we're in? Oh my God, I'm not going to sell more houses. I'm only selling 2 houses a month versus 4. What do I do? That's why the attraction is such a powerful thing, because I know month over month I have residuals coming in. So this is a good one to watch for that. So it'll help get you on a guideline to keeping your attraction going forward if you're into the attraction side. Like I said, each person in my upline has a value they bring. Cliff Freeman partnered with, oh my God, Burrow Workman, who runs Workman Success Systems. And so if you go to megaexpansion.com, if you're part of our group or part of Cliff's downline, you can receive these benefits for, I think it's $9.95 a month. I've got friends that teach these classes or that are in these coaching programs for almost $1,000 a month. So imagine having agents get into a coaching program where they can be in there for $10 a month to literally learn buyer agent mastery, seller agent mastery, admin mastery. If you want to hire an admin, go in there, take the class, have them take the class as well so you know how to teach them. Brand new agent, Rise an Agent Mastering Program. So these are cool things that you could do. I've had the subscription for about 2 years now. I watch the classes randomly so I can get refreshed. You can watch it for 4 months, cancel the subscription, no problem. It's just a bulk membership. Get in and get out of it as you need to. EXP, now these dates on the right are older dates, so don't follow these dates here. But they've also started with the REO program and relocation. Get those certifications, you have another opportunity for referrals. So you want to jump into that. And as we come out of this, or as we go into this market shift, there are going to be REO opportunities that are coming along. There's also a lot of relocation. So get those, because everyone's wondering, how do I get relo business? How do I get REO business? I know back in 2008, when I was in this business, it was like, how do we get REO stuff? So we're spending money all over the place trying to like involve these different groups. And you know, what I should have done was gone to my brokerage and said, what's the certifications we need to get? How do I get involved with the asset managers and everything? We didn't have anything like that. EXP does. In-house coaching. Obviously, Daniel's a coach with Club Wealth, so he offers a lot of one-on-one coaching to us. He's my downline, but he's also actually helping me out build business. So we're leveraging each other. I help him with certain things with team building. He helps me with a lot of coaching for our teams or for certain products or certain things that we're trying to do. So that's something else that we have is Daniel's in-house coaching. Brent Gove, go to his website, get on his email subscription. He's got a ton of stuff being sent out every day or every week with events that he's doing, different tools that are happening. And they do Cabo every year, which is the top picture there. And then the EXP Unplugged, which is done, I still believe it's done every week in the auditoriums. But when you listen to Brent, you're going to be sold. Whatever he's selling, he could be selling ice cream to an Eskimo and you're going to buy it. The guy's amazing, and he's not even selling. He's just talking and having a conversation. All right, so enterprise, that is our full back end for the company. So you're going to go in here and get into your enterprise, your workplace, your marketing center, SkySlope, KV Core, Making It Rain. I've mentioned KV Core before, but let's talk about SkySlope, what that is. SkySlope is our transaction management program, and that's where you're going to see everything that's in there. So that's kind of like your transaction coordinator. And EXP's admin are going to work in the background, making sure you've got everything done, and you're going to get a checklist every week of what needs to be updated, what's done, and what's clear. And if you're all clear on your file, guess what? You get a DA or disbursement authorization, such title says when it closes, pay him X dollars. And as long as you enter your numbers right, you've got your check at closing, which is a beautiful thing. Making It Rain, that is a marketing platform that is partnered with EXP. So I'm not a Google pay-per-click guy. I'm not a Facebook guy, but I know I spend money in both those areas, and I don't know how to manage those. Making It Rain does that for you. You say, I want to spend $500 a month. These are the parameters I want to do. And it starts running the ads for you. People are crushing the leads coming off Making It Rain. So it does set the budget, tells you how many leads you're going to get and what the best practice is. So if you wanted a single agent, $250 a month, want to get a little more leads, $500, $750, or if you really want to run, I mean, if you're running your team through it, obviously you're going to get into some more custom stuff. Excuse me. So as I mentioned before, as brand new agents, we've got mentoring here. You're going to have to, let's talk about it. Let's back up and talk about income sources for a minute. EXP's got quite a few different income sources that you can bring in. One is obviously selling houses. 2 is stock in the company. And 3 is mentorship. If you want to get into mentoring new agents, you go through the mentor program, take the class, get certified, and you can work with agents on their first 3 deals and collect a portion of the commission that is coming into the company to getting paid for working with those agents. I took it primarily so I could learn about how to help new agents and give back to my team more, because we hire a lot of new agents. Now, if you're in a team, you don't have to go through the mentorship, but I wanted to learn so I could help educate my agents better. Education calendar, dive in. Again, the slide is older. It's 50 classes a week. There's more like 80 now. And then you're going to dive in and you're going to see the stuff that's being offered. These are the weekly emails that you're going to get. So it'll show you the top 5 to 6 classes every week that are happening. Marketing and branding. Obviously, they've got a whole area where you can buy EXP shirts, cards, folders. I believe you still get 1,000 free business cards when you join. All your marketing stuff is in there, and you can get that through EXP. You're not having to go outsource it to FedEx or any of the other companies, because you got to recreate the logos and recreate everything. It's all done right here for you. Go into the marketing center over on EXP, and you're done. Keynote, when your MLS, this is something we learned in your MLS, make sure your email address is your first.last name at exprealty.net or .com, and everything of your listings will be auto imported into the marketing center. And with that, now I can go in and create my flyers, my postcards, and everything else. I don't have to go in and upload the information. It takes all the photos, takes all the contents, takes the square footage, takes the comments, the description in there. So all that stuff is already brought over because my email matches my company email in the MLS. So finding more opportunities. We talked about lead generation. Build your portfolio. Obviously, if you sell a house, you sell your first house each year, you get a stock in the company. When you cap, you get stock in the company. When you sponsor an agent and they close their first house, you get stock in the company. Icon Award for full capping agents. You sell, for our area, it's about 30 houses. Once you sell about 30, you're going to potentially get your full stock, your full cap back in stock. Now, they've changed some rules with that over the years. So make sure if you're doing this and you're going to go for Icon, you understand everything you need to know about getting your stock back. But they do give you up to the full $16,000 back in stock. 2 ways to buy. Obviously, you can also enroll in the purchase program. So they take 5% of every one of your commissions at the end of the month, buy stock at that month's cost, give it to you the following month. I call that 5% my franchise fee. So that way I know it's going out every month. And then what happens? I got a nice portfolio sitting of EXP stock at a very good price. And you buy it on it's sold on the NASDAQ. Next, grow your organization. There's quite a few different programs you can use to agent attract if you want to create it like a business. For our normal real estate business, we have a CRM, which is called Follow Up Boss. That's where we track all of our real estate clients, or KV Core, or something like that. So we're going to track agents now. We're going to put them on campaigns. We're going to put them on follow-up systems so we know how to do this. So we use a program called CRM Grow. Has all the videos in there, has everything you need to do for agent attraction. Expert Mentors is still there, but I want to refer you to CRM Grow. EXP Mentors, actually, Jake Kinder and Michael Reese wrote that, and they're actually referring people to CRM Grow now as well, because it is that much better, and they're leveraging that one now. So if you see something you love, go for it. And they're pushing the new product that's out there. That's someone else had written. I put these guys on here to follow them on YouTube about EXP and why they're on there and other things. So those are my guys that I follow, just so I can see kind of what they're doing and kind of emulate, their model a little bit. Know the agent attraction best practices. Don't run ads trying to hire agents to EXP. That's the biggest no-no. You will get kicked out of the company if you do something wrong. And I've seen people with a nice downline do something wrong and get kicked out. Do this like a business, follow the rules, and you'll be fine. And then let's set some attraction goals. Now, we're here to attract, here to build agents. Again, this is something we did last year, but think about it this way. You want to run your numbers. You list 10 buyers, 10 sellers, you're going to make 200 grand. Sponsor 10, put them on your front line. They're going to sponsor 50. You're going to make 45 grand that year. Let's go into 2022. Again, you sponsor 10, list 10, not sponsor 10. You're going to list 10 houses, sell 10 buyers, make 200 grand. Sponsor another 15, you're at 25. Now those 25 help you get to 150. You're making 112. 2023, 10 and 10 again, but sponsor additional 15, you're now at 40. That's helped you get your downline to 350. You're making $260,000 a year. Sponsor additional 10, you're going to be out of production because you've got 50 frontline now. That's helped you get to 1,000, and that's making you $750,000 a year. So think of agent appointments like your listing appointment. Block time out for prospecting. Talk to agents. Brent Gove's comment was, I would take every Friday afternoon from 2 to 5 and make that the time that I'm calling to set my appointments with my agents to get connected with them, setting lunches for the next week, whatever it is. Just like you're prospecting for new business, you're prospecting for new agents or seasoned agents or whatever it is, but you're doing it and you're treating it like a business. So this is what I love. Your 9 to 5 pays the bills and your 6 to 12 builds the empire. Let's build an empire together. And then you always want to hear, I've got friends of mine in this business that are way ahead of me in agent attraction because I didn't take it seriously in the beginning. So it's one of those, how many success stories do you need to hear before you start creating your own? So if you want to get into agent attraction, dive into it because you treat it like a business and you're going to succeed. So don't stop me now because we're just having fun. Anyways, that's my stuff. Hope you guys have questions. If you do, please reach out to me. My contact information is here. And if you are talking with somebody within EXP, talk to them further and understand why they joined and what their upline is all about. Thank you, guys.
My honor to bring up here, introduce the energetic, the stylish, the regional director of growth, Russ Lagan.
Hey, welcome. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday. What's today? I don't even know. Today's Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about EXP Explained. Thank you so much for the introduction. I do appreciate it immensely. And here's the cool part. Today I've got a business partner of mine, Frank Panuto, is going to join me today to talk about EXP Explained. And we're going to kind of kick through what agents need to know to be able to say, is this the right fit for me? Is this the right company to align with for me to be able to take my business to the next level? So you want to jump Frank in on here? Yeah, buddy.
Russ, how you doing, my friends? Good to see you again.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Frank, you and I have had this conversation a couple times, and one of the things I love about this conversation is we're kind of taking a little bit different spin on it than most people. Instead of saying, let me tell you all about how great EXP is. And listen, don't get me wrong, it is pretty great. But like, what do real estate agents really want to talk about? They've never said, tell me how great your company is, Russ. They like, tell me about what's in it for me. That's what they always go at when we start this conversation. So Frank, let me ask you, you've done this a couple 100,000 times, right? You're like the Yoda of recruiting too, right? So what do agents want to talk about when they sit down in front of you and say, hey, I need to do something different with my business? What do I do different? What do they want to talk about, Frank?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of things. It's a great question, Russ, because especially now where we're in a market that's not the same as it has been the last 2.5, 3 years. I think we can all agree that there's some type of shift going on. We still don't really know where it's going to go, but it may make agents feel a little bit uneasy. So because of that, they're like, hey, listen, I got to make sure that I am in the best situation for me. So when these things are moving, that I can adjust and I'm not going to be out of business as fast as I was in business. So that in mind, saying that, what are things that they're asking us about? Well, number one is, hey, Frank, Russ, how do I sell more houses?
Anybody ever said that out loud?
Well, I know they certainly think it, but yes, they do say that out loud. They come in and knock on your door when you were managing an office. Or I need to sell more houses. I don't know how to sell more houses.
Yeah. So I think the thing is, it's kind of funny because when we go through this conversation, the first 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 things that they're talking about, they're not saying, hey, Frank, can you show me how to sell more houses? Because I could really use another sale. But everything they're saying is screaming that to me out loud. So I'd be like, so if we could talk about how you could sell more houses being aligned with us, do you want to talk about that? And they say,
yeah.
Heck yeah, that's what I want to talk about, right? Listen, I'm not moving because I'm doing so amazing that I have to move, right? So sometimes you got to make a shift. Something's got to change. So sometimes that's moving companies. Okay, so let's talk about how to sell more houses. What else do people want to talk about?
Well, as a subset to that, right? They're like, in order to sell more houses, you need to have more leads, right?
Yeah.
So
all the time.
They're always going to ask about that for sure.
It's funny. I was live yesterday and somebody's like, well, Russ, why don't you tell me about lead? What are you going to do for leads? I'm like, do you get leads from your company right now? And they're like, well, yeah. I'm like, how are those leads? It's like, wait a minute. You got a bunch of crappy leads and you want me to give you leads. It's like, why do you want to reproduce that? Like, why don't we just talk about how do you sell more homes? If I can show you 3 ways to get more homes to come to you, and you don't have to chase a bunch of leads that go nowhere, waste time, busy work. Would you like to talk about that? And they go, well, yeah. Oh, you want to just sell more houses? If you could do that without leads, would you like that? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that.
Because they never talk about the conversion rate on those leads, right? You don't even know what that is half the time.
Yeah. Well, I ask them, and I'm like, well, how many of those do you close a month? And they're like, well, it's just the leads are a bunch of junk. Like, so why do you keep wanting more of that? Like, it's not like
now that we've heard a lot. We've definitely heard that one a lot. I can tell you that.
Like, you got to work at 8 to 12 months to get the conversion to be at subpar under working your sphere of influence, right? 1/5 of your sphere of influence conversion rate. If you work it for 12 months, you get 1/5 of that. That's why you're working your butt off and going nowhere, right? That's why it feels like you're just banging your head against the wall. So what else do they want to talk about, Frank?
Well, you're about to get to it. It's the training. And it's interesting because, when you and I are talking to people, we always talk about there's really 2 kinds of agents, right? There are proactive agents and there are reactive agents. Reactive agents tend to get run over when the market's starting to shift like this. Proactive agents kind of know where to go find, where to go hunt and where to go find the food. So they're going to ask us, well, I'm one of those people. What kind of training to have so I make sure I have the right equipment to be able to adjust to this new market?
Agreed. I think the other thing too is a lot of times a lot of these companies are really limited. When I owned my own company, I think I'm a pretty good trainer, Frank, but I'm only one dude with one set of information, right? And if they don't like my recipe that really works well, like it's not a good fit, right? So there's some of these people are in different companies. They're going, I get training all the time, but I really don't want to do that stuff. So the cool part about training here, we'll talk about that, is the sheer diversity of things that are available. Man, if you can't find a recipe that works for you here, it ain't us.
Well, you're right. The conversation is always going to be geared towards what that person's needs are.
Yeah.
So, what language do we need to speak in that particular conversation? So you're 100% right, as always.
Let's find a recipe that works for you. And there's tons of different opinions on how to do that here. What else is on the list, Frank?
Well, it's like peanut butter and jelly, right? You can't have training without support.
Right. right? Because it's like that person that can say, okay, you saw that training. Now, how do we implement that in your life, right? How do we actually make that work for you? Or, by the way, I got a couple quick questions, Frank. This makes sense, but, and that support follows directly with that. So I love that. So let's talk about that. And then the last thing, of course, is
it's always going to be commission. And I actually think it's really interesting because it certainly wasn't planned that the commission's on the bottom of that list. Because what you and I like to always stress is if you're taking care of the other ones, you never got to ask about commission. It won't be an issue.
Which is kind of funny how we stack this in when we're talking. And it's really hilarious because a lot of times when we sit down in these conversations, the first thing an agent asks, well, tell me about the commission. Like commission's completely irrelevant. If all this other stuff is in place, then the commission's really secondary. The ultimate goal is to have more net dollars in your pocket. If we get you 2, 3, 4, 5 more sales, like now you're 50, 60, 70,000 more dollars in your pocket. Does it really matter that it costs you, 20% of your split to do that? Like, no, because net dollars is what's most important at the end of the year. And people
how many times you heard that? What's your commission split? Well, our question is, tell me about your business. Because 100% of nothing is still nothing. So
how much money do you want to make?
Yeah, right.
That's a question I know you ask, like, how much money do you want to make? What do they say when they say I want to make how much? I say, how much money do you want to make? Forget the
$100,000 all the time, right? That's the stock answer.
Okay. Yeah. So for everybody that's not making 100K, the stock answer is 100K. There's some people that'll be on here, guys. This we're talking to the majority of people in the business. Keep in mind, average real estate agent nationally sells 4-point-something homes per year. The average real estate agent isn't making anywhere near 100 for the most of the people we're talking to. Going up to 100 is huge. The cool part, Frank, is once you get to 100, hitting 200 is way easier. 300 is way easier. 400, 500, and then the sky's the limit. But you got to start off with that foundation. So some of the people on here can say, well, I got teams and so forth and so on. And we can adjust this up as high as you want. But the majority of people we're talking to are going to be probably in this range and asking about that 100K. Okay. So let's dig into a couple of ways and let's make sure we're tacking on how do you get to 100K. Okay. So let's start off with, let's skip leads because that's irrelevant at this point in the game, starting right off. There's some other things we can get into on that, but how do we sell more houses? Training. We're going to start off with training, right?
Yeah. Let's go with training, because you hit a really important point right there. When you're talking about once you get to 100,000, then you get to 200. One thing I know for sure is that you can't get anywhere if you don't have systems, you don't have processes. So training is going to be key. Yeah. Well, there you go. Right. So one of the things that we have, one of the greatest things that we have is we have 50 plus live trainings per week by producing agents at all different levels. It's not just about, hey, here's so-and-so that's doing $40 million in sales a month. And somebody who's just getting started can't relate to that. We have something for everybody. As a matter of fact, Russ brought somebody in last week, a brand new agent, has never just got licensed, has her first listing appointment Thursday. She's working through our mentor program. So, I mean, couldn't be more excited for her,
So Frank, one of my favorite phrases is if the recipe sucks, it doesn't matter how good a chef you are. Right. Like, I don't know. It just always cracks me up because it's funny, but it really is true. So if your recipe is getting you to whatever you're at now, you got to change something. Let's get a different recipe. And that's the huge part about training. EXP University is the man, university has so much stuff. We should call it EXP Universe, right? They got training on everything national with people that are on the ground working. It's not the guy that did it in the 1970s. He's still talking about that thing that he did in the 1970s. These are people on the ground doing sales now saying, let me show you what I'm doing. So instead of having competition with people inside the company, we have collaboration with people in the company. So I could talk to somebody in San Diego and they'll tell me exactly what they're doing because I'm in Detroit. Like I'm going to compete with them. Like I'll show you, I'll talk about what I'm doing that's working. And we get people from all over the country showing different things that work. And it's funny. A lot of times something that works in their market will work in our market too. And nobody's doing it yet. So why not try it? Right. So in addition to that, of course, we have coaching, right?
Correct. Right.
Tell me a little bit about coaching.
Well, I mean, the coaching systems we have here are awesome. We have success coaching, which the president of our success coaching is a name that might be known in the industry a little bit. Jarek Robbins, and everybody knows his dad. He's a pretty well-known guy. But Jarek has built a heck of a career on his own. And what he's doing for our agents is awesome. So you have the ability to have these 50 live trainees. You have the ability to collaborate with agents all over the world. You have the ability to have coaching systems. You have the ability to have mentors. So as far as support, training, and what we have to offer agents, it's unmatched. Yeah, unmatched. And the other thing I really do like too is all of us have our own, I like to call them family trees,
right?
Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of people in our family trees. And I will tell you what, sometimes there's some amazing things going on in our family tree also, in addition to the formal stuff we do in EXP World and the formal stuff that we do live and the stuff that's recorded in the library that we have. We've got a lot of stuff that's in your family tree, people talking about how to make stuff happen now. And that's where they collaborate, again, live a lot of times on Zooms and so forth. And there's people telling you exactly what they're doing, which I think is phenomenal. So let's dig into that. Go ahead.
It's the virtual part of it. You just touched on something again where it's like, people don't understand this virtual thing that we're doing, Russ, right? We're talking about the family tree. Your family tree may be all over the country.
All over
the world. Could be in other countries. The beautiful thing about our structure, our model, and what we have is most people work in an office every day that has 4 walls, and they can't really see outside of those 4 walls. They depend on everything within those 4 walls. If the manager's not there, I can't get a question answered. If there's nobody there for me to bounce off a listening presentation, where do I go? With our system, the way we work, there are no walls. There's a oneness that really encompasses the entire country, multiple countries, that you can reach out and have access literally at your fingertips, where you never have to worry about, I'll be back in 5 minutes and need you to wait. And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, or I'm at lunch for 2 hours talking to someone, working through how to make you have more sales, and then I'm completely out of loop and unavailable. So there's almost always somebody available for that. The other thing we talk about a lot is training and support. So now support, hey, Frank, you're a virtual company. And my mother-in-law says this, and I think it's fine. It's like, I don't want to talk to a computer game. I want to talk to a live human, Russ. I'm like, Diane, there's live humans behind all these avatars. It's all live humans. It really is kind of funny. It's virtual, but still highly connected with humans and relationships, right? So tell me a little bit about support. Where are we at with support these days?
Well, it gets back to what we were just talking about with the virtual part of it. So when you go to what we call EXP World, you have this whole universe that we can go into at any time. And, like you said, in a standard traditional company that you may be used to, there may only be 1 or 2 people that you can go to get a question answered. Here, we walk into the world. And like you said, we like to walk up to the deli line and get a ticket. And next thing you know, you were going to be talking to a human being within minutes. There is no, we're out to lunch, I need you to come back later. There's going to be somebody there to answer your question, to give you the support you need whenever you need it. And to me, when we're talking about running a business, we're talking about efficiency and time management, all the struggles that people go through, that they battle, that keeps them from getting to that next level. We have that problem solved.
Yeah, which is amazing. So it's like having access. I think the big part about support is having access, and having access to multiple people. I had a guy ask me yesterday, Frank, he's like, hey, I got this guy. He's doing 200 sales a year, $118 million with his team. And he wants to talk to somebody that can help support him taking it to the next level. And I said, all right, well, I got a team doing 400 or so sales a year only by referral. And then I've got another guy that's doing just under 1,000 sales a year. And he does a bunch of buys of leads and all that stuff. So like, which one do you want to talk to help show that guy what next level is? That guy's like, there's nobody in my area that's doing more business than me. So like, how do I grow? I got to figure it out myself. Like, I got 2 people that are way ahead of you. Let me introduce you to them. That's the kind of support you can't get in a lot of other places, Frank. So
that's an important point too, Russ, because whether you're a single agent, you're a team of 3 people or a team of hundreds of people, we have a whole department of people that will help you make your move. So this is not something you have to take on by yourself. We have so much support here. Hey, so-and-so is coming over, and they're a team of 150 people, and we need to make sure that this transition is smooth. But we have a whole department of people to help with that transition. So there's so much more depth to the support that we have that it's just a whole nother level. We can't even get into it today.
Support and concierges. That's how we use the word a lot, right? Specialists and concierges. Good. So we also have a couple of other details that go along with it. We have a workplace, which is really cool. So Workplace is a setup where basically it's like we have our own Facebook done by Facebook. Workplace is done by Facebook. And it also ties that in with this little thing called chat. So Frank, at your fingertips at any given time, you have access to be able to communicate with just about anybody in the company. If you can find their name, you can get into them. And then if you can go in Workplace, you have at your fingertips questions and answers to all kinds of things from a bunch of different sources, because we've got people in our company that have been brokers in other companies for many, many years. They're here working as agents. And when people type in a question, there's a bunch of people that can jump on and say, hey, let me help you solve that. So you have a whole, a whole village to lean on.
Well, it's almost like you have not 2 or 3 leaders. You have, thousands and thousands of leaders in this company that can help you direct, whatever you need to go. But you asked another question. Russ, I have a question for you. We are a virtual company. We don't have these offices. We don't have bricks and mortar. what do I do if I have a question for my broker?
Well, that's kind of actually easy for us. We just jump into eXp World. You click on the little outline of your state and you go into the broker room. And then there can be anyone, either the main broker or 2 or 3 or 4 support people that have reasonably normal business hours. And there's almost always one of them on duty in almost every state available for you to talk to at that time. So like nobody had access to me. I was a broker for many years with 500, 600, 700 agents under my license at one point or another. Frank, nobody had access to me.
Yeah.
God forbid I went golfing at a golf outing for realtors, like Russ is gone for 7 hours. Now everybody's just got to wait, right? Yeah. That doesn't happen, which I love that solution that we have. Of course, you got a lot of stuff local. People say, well, but Russ, I don't have a local office to go to. You got a bunch of local people getting together on a regular basis. We got local events and various things that come in. People do teaching, training, growing. If you don't feel connected, it's because you're not plugging in. There's a bunch of places you can plug in. And you just got to say, how do I plug in? And if you get stuck, just reach out to Frank or I. We'll tell you where to plug in. Right?
Well, not to mention that everybody does get a free Regis account in case they were interested. Hey, there's no offices. You know what? As an eXp agent, you get a free account for Regis. Yeah. We have offices all over the world. So you can go in and use it whenever you want. And it's just another misnomer that's out there that we don't have anything. We have it all.
Yeah. Frank, I had a $20,000 a month office, 7,000 square foot for my team. And you know where I did my sales meetings? At the new home construction, because the new home construction people wanted to talk to my team. I'd bring my team there. They'd see the new construction. We'd get a free lunch. The new construction people got to talk to us, and my people got to figure out that you could do new construction sales and you make way more money in way less time. I love that gig, right?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Out in the market. So like you can do meetings there all the time. They loved it when I came in, pulled up a chair and had a meeting with somebody or met an agent or met a customer. So they want people in that building. So let's dive in. So now we've got the support. We got the parts and pieces in place. Let's talk about the commission. Let's dig into that. Commission structure. Okay. Sure. So let's talk about the commissions real quick.
Yeah, I think our commission structure is extremely aggressive and extremely agent-centric. It's all focused about the agent. So everybody comes in on an 80-20 split. Yep.
And we cap them at $16,000. Once they cap at $16,000, what happens then?
At that point, the cap goes down to, there's not even a cap. The cap is over. You'll just get charged a $250 fee for every transaction moving forward until you get to about 20 transactions, because that will cap at $5,000.
Yep. Okay.
And then at that point, it will drop to $75 per transaction.
So here's the fun part. You do 80, 20, $16,000 cap. They give you a $400 stock grant when you hit your cap. Then you drop to $250 per sale for the next 20. And then once you hit that, you are qualifying for Icon Production, which, by the way, they'll give you $8,000 back of your cap for the production award, right? Which is pretty cool. And then you're at $75 a transaction in perpetuity. So you got a team going. I mean, when you're looking at you get that certain number up and you're at 50, 60, 70, 80 sales, it's kind of nice because like it costs you next to nothing. I had a guy the other day, he's at 58 or 59 sales. I'm like, it's going to cost you about $7,000 a year to be with eXp to do all of those sales. And the guy's like, come on, really? I walked him through this and he's like, dude, that's crazy. And I'm like, I know. So the goal is get to that 27, 20, 30, 35, hit that icon status, get some of that money back in stock grants, which is another part of the thing we'll talk about in a minute. Okay. So here's the rest of it. So what does it cost per month for this?
It is $85 a month. Is a fee?
Yep. $85 a month. Okay. And what's included in that $85 a month? That is what we call tech fee, right? So that includes your CRM, that includes KV Core, that includes SkySlope, that is the transaction management program, all the rest of the stuff. Anything else?
Yep, there's a fee per transaction before we get to that $5,000, and it's $65 per transaction. So we have $40, which is what everybody calls E&O insurance.
Yeah, which is really
there's a $25 broker review fee. So to make sure that everything's in compliance.
Yep, there you go. Okay, so $40 risk management fee that caps at $500, which is kind of nice. So it covers the risk, but it's not an astronomical number. And then $25 compliance review on every single file that goes in, which is cool. We utilize a program called SkySlope, which is phenomenal. Talk about time saver. You want to sell more houses. Don't spend a bunch of hours dealing and farting around with paperwork, right? SkySlope helps you streamline your business. One of the things I love the most about SkySlope, Frank, is that they have the program DigiSign built into that. And when you send documents out to sign, when they sign them, they come right back in. They go right back in the file where the person is. So you don't have to go find them, cut them, paste them, clip them, save them, repay. You don't have to upload them. They automatically drop in there, and then you can move things around to get the compliance check done. And when you got everything done, it turns green. Super simple time saver, which I love. Good. Anything else we need to know about commissions? I think we got that.
I think you cover it there. We got a couple more topics we definitely want to hit here in the last 7 minutes. So let's touch on the lead gen thing, because they do want to ask about it, and it's certainly something we hear about. So let's touch on that a little bit.
Okay, so lead gen, there's a couple different things that are important. If you're not currently using a CRM, you want to use a CRM. We have KV Core, guys. It's about the biggest, baddest, robust monster you can imagine. Another part of the cool part is that there's a bunch of training on how to use it. So if you get lost in that, like I do, there are some people that will talk to my level, which is 101 level on CRMs. If you're not using one, you should use one. And this is a great source for leads. There's a couple different ways within KV Core that you're able to actually generate business and have business come to you. Within that system, also, they have the Make It Rain program, which is some paid lead generation things that you can do. But I do the free stuff first, get the ball rolling, get good at it. And then if you want to add to it, add some paid stuff to it. But you want to use KV Core to contact with your sphere and get those sphere contacts up. That's where most likely businesses come from. In addition to that, Frank, we have OpCity, which I happen to really like. OpCity is pretty cool. It's a partnership with OpCity. What they do is they hand you live humans ready to go. They do the lead generation. They incubate the leads, and then when a person's like, hey, Frank, I'm ready to go, Frank live transfers them to a person saying, hey, click the button, accept, and the phone rings, go, hey, I got somebody that wants to buy a $350,000 house. They're ready to go now. Do you have time to talk to them? And my response every time is, heck yeah, that's why I picked up the phone, baby. So OpCity is a great way to generate some business coming in with zero cost up front. They charge a small referral fee on the backside of 30 or 35%, depending on the property, but you're getting live transfer leads of people ready to go. Do all of them buy a house immediately? No, it doesn't work like that anywhere, but there's a bunch of them that do. And I know people that have 2 and 3 closings a month just from OpCity leads. I can name names, right? So It can be a great system.
And there's two other lanes that, I think people need to understand about is, with us being virtual and in touch with everybody, your opportunity for referrals is much larger, because it's not a matter of I have to go to a third party relocation department and they have to go find somebody in another state and then they have to do this and that. I'm online in that workplace chat. Hey, I need an agent in Michigan. I need a great agent in Detroit. And I got it. I have in 5 seconds. So your opportunity for referrals is really, really good. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two is our marketing department, the tab that we have for the agents. When you go in there, for a guy like me that's not overly tech savvy, there's stuff in there to teach you how to do things on social media, to help you with mailers, to help you with postcards. Everything's there. So one of the biggest problems that we have when people don't know how to get to that next level, Russ, is they don't have systems in place.
Agreed.
But we provide all that on our platform for them. So
Agreed.
your opportunity to lead gen through the systems that we have, it's right there for you.
Amazing. The last part of this piece of the puzzle, we got 4 minutes left, Frank. So we're going to buzz through exit fast. Talk about getting out quick. Exit fast. One of the things that we do that is unusual in the market and something most people hadn't seen is offering stocks. For those of you that paid a franchise fee of 6%, 7% over all these years, can you imagine if you took all that money and reinvested it back in yourself? We have a system where if you you can take up to 5% of your commission check, invest it back in yourself, and they'll sell you the stock at a 10% discount. So you're already making money right out of the gate. Helps set you up for an exit. Think about doing that for 8 or 9 or 10 years. In addition to that, Frank, you get $200 stock grant when you have your first closing, right? They give you a $400 stock grant when you cap. Of course, when you hit icon status, you can fully get back that $16,000 cap with a couple conditions met that are very doable for most people. And then, of course, the last thing we have for exit plan is revenue share. And Frank, I'm going to give you a quick summary of that so we can blast through fast. Basically, what this says is, hey, in the course of doing business and selling houses, the more houses you sell, the more people you bump into, the more realtors you meet. And a realtor says, hey, Russ, what's the deal with that thing over there that you guys are doing with that thing? I tell them what that's all about. They come over here. They make the company a little bit of money. Shouldn't I get paid on that too? Yeah. And then that person brings somebody along. And shouldn't we make a little money off of them too? Because they wouldn't have been here if I didn't bring my guy. They wouldn't have brought that guy. So this thing sets up in a 7-tier system. So you get rewarded for what you're doing. So as you're helping build the company, you get reward, and you can get a small portion of their paycheck, small portion of the gross commission income off of every one of their checks that they get every single month. It gets paid out, and those little checks can start to really add up. And that's why some people get crazy with telling everybody about it, because they're super excited because it works really well for them. But for those of you that want to sell houses, do that. If you want to have other streams of income, you can also do that. And that revenue sharing portion is absolutely priceless in that. What do you think about that, Frank?
Well, I just, people are so, especially high producing engagers, are so laser focused on getting that next deal that the concept of having multiple streams of income is not even in their head because they've never seen that model before.
Yes.
Especially they've been in this for a long time. They've been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years. They've never heard of something like this. So it was one of the big factors for me for making the move is, you know what? I want to have multiple streams. It's kind of like when you're going to buy an investment property. Isn't it nice to have a multi-unit house as opposed to one? If the if one of the units is empty, you still have money coming in another unit. So that the concept of being able to actually have a plan that I can retire. And by the way, that money keeps coming even though I step out of the business, which is all part of the conversation. To have that opportunity, Russ, it's phenomenal. It really is.
In conjunction with that, of course, there's a bunch of different ways to build teams within here. You want to talk about mega teams. There's a bunch of ways to build teams. We've got a team comp plan that actually gives you a half cap if you have under 10 people on your team. If you get 10 or more, you can go to a mega agent team, which is a 4,000 cap for all your teammates, which allows them to keep more money in their pocket, you to keep more money in your pocket, and actually build a team of your dreams if you want. So sky's the limit with this. Frank, I'm going to have to sign off here because we got stuff to do, places to go, and we are at the top of the hour, baby. Man, that was Firecracker 500. If you want more information, you need to know more, reach out to whoever brought you here, sent you here, or reach out to one of us. We'd be happy to help talk you through the conversation. How do you apply this to your business so you can put more money in your pocket, get to that 100 grand, 200, 300, 400, make this business the business of your dreams. That's what you got in it for, and you can do that here, and that's what I love. So, Frank, thank you for this week. I appreciate it. We're going to sign off, and we'll see you guys again. We'll do this next week. Full throttle, full contact. See ya.